Okay, let me know if the screen is visible. Are we good to start? Okay, guys. Okay, let's get it started. Okay. Yesterday, let us do a small recap about the yesterday's session. Yesterday we were discussing about the this keyword. Okay, so you can use this keyword to refer to the class variables, methods, constructors, and objects. Okay, so you can use this keyword in context with the variables. Like if this keyword is used to get access to the variables that are declared in the class level. Okay, for example, you might be having two variables. One variable is declared in the method level, second variable is declared in the class level. So to get access to the variable that is declared in the class level, you use this keyword to refer to those variables. Okay, this is the typical syntax for it. And we have you can also use this keyword to refer to the respective Java methods, right? From one method, within a method, you can call another method by using this keyword. Okay, we are achieving what? We are achieving method chaining. Don't you think so? So we are creating object only once, and we are calling the method only one method is getting called. On top of this method, inside this method, we have placed method calls for another method by using this keyword, right? So this is how we can utilize this keyword for to refer to any Java methods. Okay, to refer to current class constructor, we know this topic already. We have discussed this in the concept of Java constructors. First line of a constructor should always be what? These are super keyword. So we know this. We can use this keyword or the super keyword to do constructor chaining. These are the rules. That's it. Okay, then to refer to current class object for the reusability. I hope you have revised this. Okay, so now today's topic is static context in Java. What is it? Static context in Java. Okay, so we have already seen about instance context. Even the static context is just similar to the instance concept, but there is a big difference. There is a big difference. Conceptual wise, there is a big difference, but usage wise, it is going to be same. How it is going to be same? You can use this static keyword for methods, for variables, as well as for what methods you can use. You can use it for variables. You can also use it for the static import. You can also use it for blocks. Okay, so I can say that the static keyword in Java could be used for the following entities or elements. Okay, firstly, static variables, static methods we have. Third one is static blocks we have. Fourth one is static import we have. Okay, so you can use static keyword on top of variables, methods, blocks, and the next to the static import. Import is also a keyword, so this import keyword can go along with the static keyword. Okay, we will discuss this. Okay, this is going to be number 4, right? Yeah. Okay, first let us understand about the static variables. It's very easy to understand. I don't think much explanation is required for this. Okay, any variable that is declared with the static keyword is called as what? Static variable. Called as static variable. For example, okay, I have integer a equal to 100. and let me take this variable inside a class A. So this class A, inside this class A, there is a variable placed inside this class A, which is what? A equal to 100. Okay, so I can just call this variable. This variable can be addressed as instance variables. Yes or no? This is an instance variable. We know this already because no static keyword is used, and the variable is placed outside a method and it is within the class. So instance variables. Okay, static variables is such kind, even if it is placed outside the method but inside a class, but with the static keyword equal to 200. Okay, so static in b equal to 200, you can address this variable as what? Static variable. Even these variables are placed inside the class but outside the method. These are also these class level variables, but it will come along with what? The static keyword. Now you tell me, what is a static variable? Can I say that static variable is a variable that come along with the static keyword, or static variable can be defined as a variable by using a static keyword. So when a variable is placed outside the method but within the class, is in the class by using the static keyword. Okay, those variables are called as static variables, right? Okay, very self-explanatory, isn't it? Any variable with a static keyword is called a static variable. Okay, now the question is, when the static variables are recognized and initialized? That's the question. When the static variables are initialized and recognized, this is very important question, very important point to be noted. Okay, point to be noted. I can say that the static variables are recognized and executed, or I can say that static variables are recognized and initialized at the time of loading the dot class file to the memory. The time of loading the I can say that respective dot class file to the memory. What does it really mean? Okay, when I say this, what does it exactly mean? See, for the instance variables, the discussion was like, these instance variables are recognized and executed before executing the constructor, yes or no? So that is what we have discussed for the instance variables. But when it comes to static, even though the static variables needs a recognition as well as the initialization, or the what we call it as execution. Okay, so the theory says they are recognized and initialized at the time of loading the respective dot class files to the memory. What does it really mean? You will understand. Okay, for this, let me take, I have a class A. Let us say that I have a class A. Inside the class A, so I am placing a variable like in static A, static integer A equal to 100. Public static void main string array aux. Okay, what does it really mean? So this is my code, a very simple code. Okay, let us take this code in this. So let us create a package name as package ABC. Okay, I have a class A. Inside this class A, how many variables are there? Only one variable is there. What kind of variable is it? It's a static variable. And I have a method. I have a main method. Okay, so the moment I start executing this, literally, I mean, behind the scenes, what are the things that will happen? We will try to understand. Okay, go back to the theory. What does the theory says? What does the theory says? The static variables are recognized and initialized at the time of loading the respective dot class file to the memory. Okay, so behind the scenes, what is really happening behind the scenes, we need to have that understanding. Okay, this is our code. Usually what we usually do, okay, so we need to save this file for the compilation. Okay, we know the rules and regulation how the file needs to be saved, right? So let us do that first. File, save as. So the name of the file should be same as the class name, so a.java. Okay, a.java. The file has been saved successfully. Okay, so I have saved this file with the file name a.java. Let us go back to the paint screen. Okay, so this is what file, a.java file. Okay, now this code needs what? This code needs compilation. Okay, for this we need a compiler. These are the internal things, but the static understanding is required here. That's why I am taking you back to this flow once again. Okay, so this is the compiler. Okay, the job of the compiler is to check for any errors. Okay, a.class file will be loaded to the compiler, and this compiler is going to look for any errors. If it is error free, it is going to generate the .class file, right? So go back to the respective folder and see, now we only have what, a.java file. Okay, or I need to give a command for the compilation, right? So I'm going back to the command prompt. Okay, java c space -d space dot space. Okay, sorry, what is it? Java c space -d space dot space. What is the command for the compilation? Tell me. We want to compile a, what is the command? Anyone can help me with the command? I forgot. I have forgotten. If I have a package, if I want to do the, yes, abt.java. Good, Chaitanya. Package name.java. It is not coming. Okay, I need to change it directly. Sorry, guys. A.java only. I forgot to change the directory. A.java. So the package has been created. Inside the package, the respective .class file has been placed, which is what? A.class file. Let me over here. You can see it's a .class file. Class file, you can see, right? Okay. Now you see, so we did something and compilation has got successful. How we got to know that the compilation is successful? We were able to, the compiler is able to produce what? A .class file has been produced by the compiler. Okay, so this is how the .class file naming convention is does look like, a.class. Okay, now go back to the theory. So the static variables are recognized and initialized at the time of loading the respective .class file file to the memory. So what has happens is, okay, to load this .class file, what is the command that we are going to use in the command prompt to load this respective .class file to the JVM? We have a prominent command, right? For JVM. Okay, when we have to load this .class file to the JVM, we need to use what? We need to use a command. What command we are going to use? We need to use the execution command. Okay, what is execution command that we are supposed to use? Java space abc dot give. So when you do this command, what happens internally? Now so many things are going to happen. Firstly, this a.class file will be loaded to the memory. It will be loaded to the memory. Okay, what does I just said? Let me copy this and paste it here so that we do not want to go back and again. Okay, so the static variables are going at the time of loading the respective .class file to the memory. This is the time the .class file is being loaded. At the time of loading, the loading the .class file, even the main thread is also not generated. Main thread will get generated after loading the .class file. But at the time of loading the .class file, this point is very important. At the time of loading the respective .class file to the memory, the static variables are recognized. Okay, now how many static variables are there in the class A? There is only one static variable, integer a equal to 0. They are recognized and initialized. It means at the time of loading the .class file, inside the JVM there is an area called the method area. So we have discussed about 3 areas before. One is method area, second one is stack area, third one is heap area. Okay, inside the method area, the memory will be allocated for what? This is method area. Method area, the memory will get allocated for the static variables. What is the static variable that we have? A equal to 100. In the method area, static memory gets allocated for the static variable. Then the JVM will create the main thread. Then this main thread will get access to the main method. This is the procedure. This is the order. Making sense? Okay, so this is what? This is one. Okay, one is what? Storing, saving the file. Second one is compilation. Third one is this .class file will be loaded to the JVM. Fourth one is after loading this .class file, the memory gets allocated for the static context. They get recognized and initialized. Fifth one is the main thread will get created. Fifth one is what? Main thread will be. These are the things that is happening behind the scenes. These many things are happening where? Behind the scenes. Getting this, everyone? Are we good so far? Yes, no? Okay, now you see. So we got to know. So I have given the clear-cut explanation for, especially for this particular theory. Okay, hope we will not forget this. Next thing is the static variables are shareable data. Okay, so the static variables are shareable data. What does it really mean? So it is like this data will be shared to different objects, which would be shared on different objects. Okay, so to understand this, let me take another class here. Okay, for example, let us say that I have class A. Okay, inside the class A, I have integer a equal to 100, integer b equal to 200. So let me keep it as static integer b equal to 200. Increase the font size. Okay, integer a equal to 100, static integer b equal to 200, and I have what? Public static void main string array box. Okay, so I am creating three objects, a obj equal to new a obj equal to new a, this is object 1, and a obj 1 equal to new a, this is object 2, and a obj 2 equal to new a, this is object 3. Now see something, you will learn something now. Okay, so we have created object for 3 times. It means we know that already whenever you use new keyword, Okay, three respective objects will be created. Yes or no? For every new keyword, a new object will be created. One, this is two, okay, and this is third object. Okay, let me reduce this. One, two, and three. Okay, so when you talk about object, just focus here. When you talk about objects, okay, the memory, what memory will be utilized for object creation? Heap memory will be utilized for the object creation. Okay, at the same time, these objects are going to store the instance variables. Now tell me, from by looking at this program, which is the instance variable, A or B? Which is the instance, which one is the instance variable, A or B in this case? A is an instance variable because it is we are not using static context. So every object is going to have a copy of A equal to 100, A equal to 100. Here is what? A equal to 100. Don't you think so? A equal to 100. Because we are using three new keywords. That's why this is addressed as obj1, this is addressed as obj2, and this is addressed as obj3. obj1, obj2, obj3. obj1, obj3. Okay, so these are, so now what is a static variable here? We have one instance variable. So don't you think that B is a static variable? Okay, B will be stored in the method area. Okay, this is going to be B equal to 200, and this B will be shared. This variable will be shared among all the objects. I will explain. Look at this diagram. This variable B will be shared among what? It would be shared among all the objects. So this is going to be B, this is going to be B, this is going to be B. Okay, now here there is one takeaway. What is the takeaway? The static variables will be stored in the method area. It will be stored in the method area, and these variables are always shareable among all the objects. These variables are always shared among all the objects, but instance variables will be stored in the heap area. So this area is called as what? This area is called as, let me do this. This area is called as what? The heap area. What is it? Heap area. Heap area, this is method area, this one is what? Heap area. Okay, they are non-shareable memories. Each and every object, the moment you create an object, okay, it will allocate memory for the respective instance variables. Okay, so this is the instance variables that I am talking about. This is one instance variables, and this is another instance variable. This with respect to obj2, this is another instance variables with respect to obj3. But static variables is going to be common for all the objects. Okay, so the exact observation can be made by changing the static variable. For example, the moment when you change static variable as 200, from 200 if you change it to 300, this 300 will reflect to all the objects. Okay, so when I ask you, see, I can ask you a question like, okay, inside the object 1, inside obj1, what is the value of A and B? You can answer it like, sir, value of A is 100, value of B is going to be what? 300. That is your answer. Okay, now independently I can make changes for the respective object. The value of A can be changed independently. For example, the moment when I do A equal to 2000 and A equal to 1000 with respect to obj1, don't you think that if I ask you the values of A and B for obj1, what will be your answer? The value of A is going to be 1000, the value of B is going to be what? 300. obj2, value of A is 100, value of B is 300. obj3, the value of A is 100, value of B is 300. Okay, the takeaway, the idea here is you have an option to do changes for the instance variables with respect to the individual objects. The moment you change the variable A, to a different value, those changes are going to remain in the same object. But the moment you change the variable, static variable, this variable will reflect to all the objects. Making sense, everyone? So now I will ask you one question. Okay, now tell me that I am changing the value of B to 400. Okay, and if I ask you a question like, what is the value of B inside obj1, what is the value of B inside obj2, what is the value of B inside obj3? Okay, what could be your possible answer? You will say for all the obj1, obj2, obj3, the value of B is 400 itself, right? Because this B is pointing to this memory, the latest value is 400. Answer is correct, right? It is going to be same for all the objects, right? Yes or no? Yeah, correct. But the value of A is going to be independent to the respective objects, right? So if you want to change the value of A, okay, again there should be a follow-up question. Sir, I can change the value of A, but which object you are referring to? I need to specify. Okay, you can change the value of A with respect to object 2. I need to do the specification. Okay, I will go to object 2 and I will do the changes. Okay, now this time A equal to, let me change it to 200. Okay, and again I am telling you, change the value of A to 500. You should be asking me, what you should be asking me, sir, on which object I want to change the value of A? Now I like my response is, change the value of A to 500 in object 3. You will find object 3. Okay, I will change the value of A to the value of A to 500. Specificity is there. Now if I ask you to change the value of B, if it is a static variable, it is going to be only one memory, right? So I can directly change this. There is no specificity here. So if it is static variable, directly change, that's it. It is not linked with any object references. Are you getting this? Static variables are not linked with any object references, but instance variables are always linked with what? Object references. That's why static variables are what? They are shareable variables. They are shareable memories. Any doubts? Okay, I will I will eliminate your confusion in some time. Okay, so I hope only for this point I am giving you this much explanation. Okay, now the next point is, going to be a very very straightforward point, or else I will introduce a small program here. Please be informed that in Java, the single copy of static variables is shared to all the objects. What does it really mean? Okay, let me look into a small Java program. Let me see who is going to answer this. Okay, I have integer a equal to 100 and I have integer b equal to 200. Okay, so I am also taking public string to string method, and this to string method is going to return a plus b. Okay, let me do like this. A equal to Nothing, I have just concatenated. Okay, this a equal to will be printed, okay, and this is a value concatenation, 100 will be printed. Okay, and again this is a string concatenation, b equal to will be printed, and the respective value concatenation, that's it. Okay, you just do the tracing, will get to know. Okay, now I am creating object a obj equal to new a. Okay, system dot out dot println. Okay, now think very simple. Object is created for class A. I'm trying to print the reference variable. Okay, the moment I try to print the reference variable, we know that already internally toString method will be called. Okay, so toString method is in the object class, but we are doing manipulation, we are customizing the toString method. I have deliberately placed a toString method in the current class. It means the moment this object is obj is called, this toString method will be called. This is returning what? This is returning something. This is returning something, right? So now what will be the output if I run this? Tell me. Everyone answer. I hope you got my question. Let me keep the screen here. Why you want me to explain? Tell me if you are not answering. Everyone, Jyoti S, Darshini, Chaitanya, Jyoti N, Krishna Prasad, Ashwan, Samyukta. Come on, guys, tell me why you are saying. Tell me, tell me at least, so that I can explain. Don't, yeah, A equal to 100, B equal to P equal to 200. Like what's difficult? Good Chaitanya, very good Chaitanya. A equal to 100, B equal to, this is the specific answer. Good Jyoti, yes. What difficulty is there? Very straight thing, right? ToString method will be called this ToString method. See, let me run this. A equal to 100, B equal to 200. Okay, the moment the ToString method is called, this ToString method is returning the values of A and B. That's it, right? What difficulty is there here? Okay, so let me do something. Okay, now instead of doing this way, what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to do what? I'm trying to do obj dot A equal to, I am reassigning the value of A equal to 200. Okay, A is 100 already. I am reassigning it to what? 200. Okay, again I am doing obj dot B equal to, it is 200 already. I am reassigning it to 400. Okay, having said this, now you tell me what output we will get in the console. I did some modification in the object level. What output we will get in the console? Come on, let me keep the screen here. Everyone answer. Why I am not getting answers from Jaswan, Shamipta, Darshini? Darshini, network issues, I understand. What about others? what typically? So, see guys, and very simple. No, 100 is changed to 200. 200 is changed to 400. Output is A equal to 200, B equal to 400, right? A equal to 200, good. A equal to 200, B equal to 400. Right? Okay. I'm creating another object. Okay, so this time it is going to be obj2. New object is created, and this time the name of the object is obj2. obj2. Okay, what I am doing here, I wanted to print I wanted to do the same changes, but this time I want to change it to I want to just print the values of A and B. Now you tell me the answer. I'll explain you this clearly. Okay, no, okay, let me explain this for you. Okay, please focus here. Please focus here. Okay, two-string method. We have been discussing this concept for a long time. Please pay some attention here. People who did not answer. Okay, very easy. Okay. Let it be. Okay, let me separate this main method. Now we focus here. I have class A and I have a main class. Okay. Now you see what is happening exactly. I have said already, static variables are recognized and executed at the time of loading the bytecode to the memory. Okay, before even thinking about the execution in the main method, before even thinking about the main thread, before even the main thread is getting into the picture, okay, what is exactly happening? But the dot class file needs to be loaded to the JVM. At the time of loading the bytecode, this part is getting recognized and initialized. Okay, then the main thread will come into the picture. Okay, first, ideally, this part is coming inside. One. Ideally, this part is coming into the picture. Okay, one is coming into the picture. So, in the memory level, okay, and in the method area, this I will be initialized to this A will be initialized, value 100 will be initialized to A in the method area because it is a static content. Okay. After doing all this, main thread will come into the picture. Then this is count to this second. The main thread will try to get access to the main method. Okay, the first instruction is what? The object creation new. Okay, an object will be created. Don't you think so? Because of this new keyword. And this object has been addressed to what? This object has been addressed to obj. Right? So the moment the object is created, this object will store the instance variables directly, but static variables indirectly. How is that possible? Instance variables is what? Integer b equal to 200. Okay, value b will be assigned to 200. Okay, at the same time, this is also going to have the static variable, but not the value, but the reference c. Okay, because it c is what? C is, sorry, not c, guys. I'm sorry about this. This is a. This what? This is a. This is a. Okay, so this a will be given a reference from here. Okay, after this, what we are doing, guys? After this, we are doing what? A equal to a dot obj dot a equal to 200. Okay, so a becomes 200. Don't you think so? Latest value. So since it is a latest value, let me do the modification red and color. Okay, after this, what is happening, guys? Obj dot b equal to 400. Okay, obj dot b equal to 400. So the modification will be happen for the b, and this is going to become what? 400. 400. Okay. After this, what we are trying to do? We are trying to directly print obj. Obj means what does the toString method says? This toString method say, okay, when you call obj, toString method will be called, right? ToString method will be called. This method will be called. Okay. So the moment this method is called, This is returning values. What values it is returning? Okay, A equal to, it is placing as A equal to A, which is what? 200. Already the value inside the A is 200. Okay, and B equal to B. What is the value inside the B? 400. So this 200 and 400 will be displayed in the console. Yes or no? 200. The first conclusion, 200 and 400 will be displayed in the console. Just tell me if you have understood till now. Yes, no? Have you understood till now so far? Okay, now second case, this is the proof that the static variable is a shareable variable. Second case, okay, after this another object is being created, right? Yes or no? Another object is being created, a obj equal to new a new object is getting created. Okay, for new object, don't you think that a new memory will get allocated in the JVM, I mean in the RAM area? This new memory is going to store what? Instance variables, right? Yes or no? What is instance variable that we have? B equal to 200. Same B equal to 200 will be there because new means the existing instance variable is going to remain same. We did modification, but this modification is limited to this address obj. It will not reflect here because this is a new address. We say this object is addressed as obj2. This object is addressed as what? obj2. obj2 is in b equal to 200. At the same time, it will also store the reference variable of the static variable. Store the reference variable of static type. What is the reference variable of static type? A is there already. So A will be, the reference variable will be stored here, but this variable will be pointing to the static context. Got this? Now I am trying to print obj2. obj2 means what? Okay, this is going to call toString method, right? Yes or no? toString method. Now look at the objects and tell me. Just look at the objects and tell me obj2. Okay, what is the value of A in obj2? This is obj2. What is the value of A in the obj2? This is the A. What is the latest value in the obj2? 200, right? Not 100, 200. 200, latest value. 100 has been modified. So when you modified from one object, the modification is going to remain for all the objects. This is going to be 200. But what is the value of B here? This is the value of B. Value of B is what? The 200 itself, right? Same, B is 200 with respect to obj2. 200. By looking at this, don't you think that this is a conclusion that when you modify static variable, that modification will reflect for the future objects also? Don't you? Can we conclude that? I have modified the static variable by using this. Here the modification has happened for the static variable, especially here in this memory. Modification has been happened for the static variable. But this modification is what? It is affecting the future objects also, because static variables are shareable memory. Once it is modified, okay, even though if you create another object, that object is going to refer to the same method area, but it is going to point to the latest value, object reference value. Yes or no? Agreeing this, everyone? Why static variables are shareable? Yes, no? You getting this? Now you will be able to answer if I ask any other question now. Everyone? Can I ask you one more question? Right? So you take this as an assignment. Okay, try practice this as an assignment. Okay, I am creating another object obj3. Okay, here I am performing modification like obj2 dot, okay, let me modify only obj, sorry, 500 obj dot obj2 obj3 obj. You practice this and you answer this to me tomorrow. It is very easy. Just follow the approach which I have just done. You practice this tomorrow and let me know. Okay, so the actually see, I think you have understand this. The single copy of static variable is shareable to all the variables. Okay, next point is, in Java the static variables can be accessed by using the class reference, class name. So all I can say that class name directly or by using the object reference. However, it is highly recommended to use the class name directly. What does it really mean? Okay, let's go back here. Okay, let me remove this. Remove all this. Okay, I want to access the static variable. How I can access system dot out dot println a. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Now observe one thing. This method is a static method. Okay, this is a static variable and static method. I can directly use the variable name inside the static method. Okay, for example, let me take another variable, integer b equal to 200. Okay, so now we can define this variable as static, and we can define this variable as what? Instance variables. Okay, now in the main method I am trying to access the static variable, so output should be what? Output should be 100. Output is 100. Okay, the moment I try to access instance variable, okay, I will get an error, because we know that already you need to create object. See, it says non-static variable b cannot be referenced from a static context. It means object creation is mandatory. Instead of doing this, I should be doing this. What? A obj equal to new a. First you create an object. With the object reference, you can able to access the non-static variable in the static method, which is what? The main method. I need to do this many steps to access non-static variable. Object creation is mandatory. Okay, but to access static variable, okay, let me run this. 200. Now you are able to access. Okay, but the moment you do this, the moment you remove this, okay, first you find which variable you are trying to access. Okay, so b variable we are trying to access. B is of non-static type. Okay, you cannot access a non-static variable in the static method, static context. Now you get error, but the privilege, there is a different privilege for static variable. Okay, you can directly access static variable from the static context. Making sense? 300. No need to do the object creation. Okay, even if you prefer to do the object creation, okay, you are very stubborn and you want to do the object creation, but and also you want to access the static variable by doing the object creation. That is also possible. No issues. For the static variable, you can access it by doing object creation directly. But for non-static variable, object creation is mandatory. See, we are able to get the output. Okay, for the static variable, and also you can use the class name also. Instead of obj.a, I can use what is the name of the class A. I can do this A.a. Class name followed by the variable name. Let's see if we can do this. 100. Okay, there are 3 ways to access static variables. I can write it like Java static variable can work by using the class name directly or by using the object references or by using the variable name itself. However, it is highly recommended to use the class name to access the static variables. Examples. Okay, if I have a static variable, static integer a equal to 100, if I have this, if you want to access this in the main method, okay, or the static method, okay, public static void main string array aux. Okay, so either I can do what? System dot out dot println directly I can access, or else I can use the class name and I can access, or else I can do the object creation and I can access. For that, object creation is required. These many ways you can access the static variables. Making sense, everyone? Everyone, are you getting this? Yes, no? Are we good so far? I want response from everyone. Only few people are responding. Okay, static variables are good now. And see, let me show you one more thing here. So I have a so can we do this, guys? Void method 1, I have void method 1 here. Okay, let me take this method as a static method itself. Static void method 1. Inside I am declaring a static variable. Static integer c equal to 300. Okay, the moment I do this, you cannot express a static variable inside a method. Making sense? Inside a method, you cannot declare a static. When you declare a static variables, they are always class levels. There are always class levels. You can declare it, but make sure that it is being declared outside the method, but inside the class. Okay, sir, if that is the case, I am able to declare instance variables inside the method. Okay. So the moment you declare any variable inside the method, that what is it means? It is a local variable. It becomes local variable. This is not instance variable. This becomes local variable. Okay. The word instance comes when it is declared outside the method, inside the class. Okay. Again, at the same time, the word static variable comes when it is declared outside the method, inside the class. Okay, the moment you declare any variables, it can be only variables without static keyword. They are called as local variables. This is a local variable. But this is a local variable. Static integer d equal to 100. This is not a local variable because you cannot localize the static contents. You cannot do this. Since you are doing this, it doesn't mean that it is an instance variable. Since you are doing this, it doesn't mean that it is a local variable. Okay, both are complete difference. This local variable, if you remove this, it is local variable, but if you add this, it is not possible. It should be always outside. Making sense? This is one of the exceptional cases. Are you getting this, guys? Very simple. You cannot use static variable. You cannot declare static variable inside static methods. That is a takeaway. If you declare any other variables inside a method, they will be treated as local variables. Second takeaway. Okay. So we get what? We get what? Compilation error. So I can write like this. Very, very important point. Please be informed that static variables, if you get logged out of the meeting, just rejoin. Okay. Variables are need to be declared outside the method but inside the class. It is not designed to be declared inside a method since it is a class level variable and it is shareable among all the objects. Okay, the moment you declare it, you will get what? Compilation error. Don't you think so? What compilation we get? What compilation error? Illegal start of expression. Example. Okay, so these are the valid points. Each and every point I have given you the brief diagrammatic illustration. Each and every point for each and every point. Okay, am I missing another point? Let me recollect. Okay, so now you see. Let me remove all this. Yes, I'm audible and my voice is, my screen is visible. Okay, thank you. Okay, I was saying that let me remove this instance p. The default values are going to be same for the static variables as well as for the non-static variables. So that is the conclusion. Default values will not change. There will be no issues with the default values. Now you see here. Everyone joined? Anyone missing? Two of them are missing. Okay. We get null pointer exception. I will tell you what is this. Okay, this is very important point with respect to the Java interviews. Okay, especially this program. Okay, I'm not doing anything. Okay, instead of creating a new object, so it is just like, you know, I will explain you what is null pointer exception. For the time being, just imagine, like, if I do this, the moment I use new keyword, you know, a memory space will be created in the RAM area, and in the RAM area, memory space will get created. What happens after the memory space? This obj will be assigned to that memory space. Obj will be, so the moment I remove this and the moment I use null here, okay, the moment I use null here, system dot out dot println, it is like no memory space is created. No memory space is created. Okay, let me do this. B dot obj dot b. Okay. Focus here, guys. This is interview question. Okay, this is my code. This is the programmer's code. Okay. So we know. I don't think I need any explanation. Static context will be recognized and executed the moment the .class file is loaded to the memory. So a memory area will be created in the method area in the JVM. So here the only declaration is done. So a equal to 0. No value has been initialized, so value is going to be 0. Okay, and integer b is there. This is an instance variables. This instance variables, the space will be created only when the moment the object is created, but I am not creating any object, right? I am using a concept of null. What is null? We will discuss that in the future topic. For now, the moment you use null, it is just like an empty, nothing. Just imagine like that. Okay, so this is the heap area. Inside this area, when you use the new keyword, definitely an object gets created. Okay, when you use new keyword, object is created, and this object will be addressed with the respective reference. Reference variable. This is making more sense. But I am not using any new keyword. Okay, I am just pointing the reference variable to what? To null. Okay, it is like this object, this address is created, obj is created, but it is don't know to which to which memory it is pointing. Okay, that space we call it as what? Null. For example, so if you take your dog, if you have any pet animal like dogs or cats, if you take them for a walk, okay, you tie them and you just it will come along with you, right, with the tie. Okay, that is like it is it is connected to you somehow. It is connected. You don't carry the dog, but it is somehow connected to you with that tie, with that what we call it as, with that thread, with that rope. Okay, so if you have only rope, it will not make any sense, right? It's just idea like that. When you place a null value, it is like object is referring to nothing. It's referring to nothing, empty. Okay, now here you are doing what? Here you are calling obj.b. Obj.b you are calling. Okay, so this b, ideally this b, as this obj is not able to find this b. Obj is there. Okay, if you have created an object, then that object is going to have b. It is very ideal, it is very straightforward that b value will be printed. But here this object is pointing to null. Okay, it is not able to find where the b is. Okay, the value of b is not yet assigned here. Okay, so that's why if you run this code, what you will get? Let me save this. You get what? Java.lang null pointer exception. Null pointer exception. Very, very important exception. Because new keyword is not used. So this is what happening in the memory. The moment you call the instance variable with object reference which is pointing to null, you get null pointer exception. Okay, the question can be like this. Okay, this question is okay. This question is very good. Okay, what if I call the static variable on top of null pointer? A. A is what type? Static type. Okay. What is happening in the memory? So A is here. Okay, this is null. So obj is pointing to null. A is here. A is not here. A is here. Okay. Somehow this obj is capable to identify A, because this reference will be indirectly pointing to obj. Okay, the moment you place obj.a on the static variable system dot out dot, because this A is in a different memory, there is a space for this A, right? obj.a, you will get the default value as 0. There will not be any null pointer exception here. Okay, let me run this. 0. The question can be like, okay, first they will ask you to what is the answer now. Okay, but blindly you will say 0, because this is just declared in not yet initialized. Okay, the default value will be printed in the console. Okay, they change this. What is the output now? We will say what? We will say 0. Then what we will get? We will get 0 in the interview, right? So revise this. Okay, this is one of the interview questions. Okay, this you will get 0. This you will get null pointer exception. Okay, and this you will get what? For this you will get 0. Value will be printed. Why value will be printed? Static variable. Answer will be 0. Okay, the conclusion is here for the static variables. Okay, all the theory, all the things related to static variables has been addressed. Okay, please be informed that in Java, when an object is created, or else I can say, when you try to access an instance variable with the object reference which is pointing to null, you get null pointer exception. Okay, however, when you do the same with the, this is not the right grammatical sentence, however, where was I? Okay, however, when you try to access a static variable with the object of is null, you will get the respective value into that variable or static variable. This is okay. So this is the complete explanation about static variables. Tomorrow I will complete these two things at a time, static methods and static blocks. Okay, Sunday we will take leave. Monday we will complete static import. Okay, any questions for me, guys? Try to do some practice from your side, or else